Hey guys, good evening, afternoon, wherever you are. Once you hop on and you can hear me, go ahead and comment. Just let me know that you're here. I'm going to give it just a minute for people to hop on. And I just want to know who's watching. So if you are watching, go ahead and comment so I know you are here. I see we have viewers already. So it looks like it is working. Go ahead and comment away so I know that you guys are here. There we go. Hey guys. Hey Colleen. Hey Mallory. Hey Lisa. And if you guys have specific questions, hopefully my prayer is that you came with specific questions. I'm going to do a little intro and then I'm really just going to open it up. Hey Lisa. Hey Leanne. Hey Margaret. Hey Bernadine. Hey Patty. Hey Peanut Peep. Hey Margaret. Hey Melissa. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. This is so exciting. And thank you guys for willing to be on and for being interested and for seeing value in something like this. I am really excited about doing these sessions once in a while. So again, I'm going to give it just a couple minutes. So say hello to me if you're watching, if you haven't done so already. And make sure that you are posting your questions, because that's what this is. It's a Q&A. So if there's no Q, there's no A. So make sure that you're asking questions. Today is really focused around the new year. And gosh, when we think about resolutions and going into a new year, did you guys know that like 99% of resolutions fail? Like they don't happen. And so I just want this year to be different. I want us to goal set. I want us to be willing. I want us to have clarity. I want us to have intention. I think 2020 was also such a traumatizing year for a lot of people and a lot of small businesses. And it was devastating in a lot of ways and great in some ways. And so I just want to make sure that we hit refresh and, starting today, right after this call, you get off and you are ready to go and you know what you're doing, why you're doing it, and what is next for you. Hey, Hannah. Hey, Joanne. Hey, Monica. Hey, Julianne. Hey, Francesca. Hey, guys. Hey, hey, hey. Okay, so we are about 3 minutes in. So make sure that, yes, hit refresh. That's right, Anna, hit refresh. So make sure you guys are posting questions, the types of questions and really you can ask anything, okay? You can ask absolutely anything depending on how many questions we have. I'll try to get to all of them, but really I'm thinking of just having obviously to do with your business. And, when you think about your business, it also has to do with your mindset, with your schedule, with habits for growth, with energy, with what you're feeding your mind and body. I mean, there's so much that goes into business. And so make sure that you are asking away. Here's what I want to say before I see we already have a question. So before we dive into that, here's what I want to say first, you guys, is I really do believe that how you do anything is how you do everything. And I want you to think about that statement. Hey, Lauren. Hey, so how you do anything is how you do everything. And here's what that means. I think, especially as an entrepreneur, hey, Emma, especially as an entrepreneur, you guys, you cannot pretend to be a certain person at work and then go home and have sucky habits, no discipline, feed your mind and body absolute crap, have negative conversations, have it be, for lack of better words, a garbage dump, and then go to work and be like, I'm going to be successful and my business is going to flourish. That's just not going to happen. How you do anything is how you do everything. And I think for me, in 2020, and this is just like for me, a personal vulnerable statement, is I let a lot of things slide in 2020. A lot of habits slide, a lot of self-talk stuff slide, mindset stuff, just like daily journaling, like habits that I had, I let them slide. And it reflected in my numbers, it reflected in my leadership, it reflected in my confidence, like it reflected. And so how you do anything is how you do everything. And so any area of your life that you feel like is being affected, that's really what I want you guys to ask about. Okay, so I'm going to scroll up here and I'm going to look at these questions. Okay, so the first question is, how do you find the passion to work consistently? So I think this is such a multifaceted question because it just really depends on what your business is for you in your life. So if your business for you is survival, like if your business doesn't make X amount, the bills don't get paid, sometimes it's not about passion. Sometimes it is out of pure sheer discipline and my mortgage has to get paid. So I have to get up every day and I have to do this. Sometimes it is that. And honestly, sometimes working from that place, it's not good to work from that place for a long time because if you're passionless and it's no energy and it's just forced, eventually it's going to burn out and you're not going to last that way. However, you're more likely to show up if there's skin in the game. You're more likely to show up if someone is depending on you. You're more likely to show up if money does need to be made versus as if it's just this fun thing on the side that you don't really need. That's when it really comes in where you're like, I've got to show up. And so for me, personally, and if you also are, all of you are business owners. So if there's something that you want to add to this, please feel free to go ahead and put that in the comments. But for me, you guys, working consistently, it's 100% about my schedule because there are days when I don't feel like it. And the days that I don't feel like it, if I don't already know exactly what I have to do for the day, I just won't freaking do it. And I don't know if any of you are like that. If I wake up and I see that it's a Monday and I know that on Monday, okay, so I have it on my calendar, I'm looking at my schedule right now. Monday is my planning day, my self-growth day, my office day, catch up on my mailings and my tracking. And so when I wake up on Monday and I know that's what I have to do, I don't care if I feel like it or not, I'm going to do it because it took very little effort for me to make any sort of decision about it. I already know that's on my calendar. I do it. It's kind of like going to a dentist appointment. Like you just go. Or, if those of you that have to like clock into a job, you don't think about whether you feel like it or not. You just do it. It's autopilot. And so my best suggestion to you would be to automate your business as much as you can so that you wake up and you already know what you have to do. You wake up and it's already in your phone. 9 a.m. do this, 12 p.m. do this, then take a break for lunch, do this, do this, do this. The less thought you have to put into it, the more likely you are to do it on the days you don't feel like it. The mistake that most people make is they think that willpower is good enough and that willpower is infinite. And that's false. Willpower is like a tank. And so if you start your day by having to create your day, you're already crapping out half the tank of your willpower. So by the time you actually have to do the work, you don't feel like it anymore. And so the less decisions that you have to make, the better. Have you guys ever driven a car and you get there and you're like, how did I get here? I hope I didn't run any red lights. You're on autopilot. You don't think about every time to turn your blinker on or to turn whatever. Like you just go and you drive. That is the best advice that I can give you. And the way that you do that is by having a schedule and following it consistently, whether you feel like it or not. It sucks at first. You're not going to feel like it. But after a while, it's just what you do. It's like waking up in the morning and going pee. It's just what you do. You don't think about whether you want to or not. You just do it. Okay, so someone said taxes. And then I lost the comment. Hold on. I'm going to try to find it again. Taxes. Is there a difference between personal use and demo usage? Is there a site that's helpful? So I'm actually going to do a tax seminar tomorrow. I'm going to do a little tax seminar at 10 in the morning and just talking about all of that. Like what is a write-off? What isn't? Now, I'm not an accountant. Okay, disclaimer. So I'm speaking strictly from my personal experience, but we will cover all things taxes tomorrow. So if you're interested in that, just let me know. Okay, someone said, I have trouble focusing on the right priorities. I would love to have a schedule to follow. So you guys, this is the Achilles that I see, especially from people that have like a flexible schedule. Like if you're a small business owner that's like brick and mortar and you have to show up every day, it's very different. But when you are just freelancing it and you're working from home and you have so much flexibility, sometimes we confuse flexibility with unemployment. And if we don't have like an intention for the day, we're just treading water and we're in chaos and we're like, what do I do today? Do I get leads, or do I contact customers, or what do I do today? What is this going to look like? Do I spend time on social media? And we don't do anything, and we don't focus on the right things. We end up doing the things that come easiest, or the things that take the least amount of effort, but the things that are actually going to move the needle in your business, you end up avoiding. And so my suggestion for that, if you're having trouble with priorities, is to write down what those are. What are your business priorities for the year? Do you have those written down? What are the things that are actually going to move the needle in the direction that you want to go? And so if it's a sales goal, make sure you know, how much do I have to sell daily? How much do I have to sell weekly? How much do I have to sell monthly? What does that roll into, right? If it's, I don't know, a building goal, whatever your goal is, make sure that you know what your priorities are for the year, where you want to be for the year, and then breaking those down and focusing on the priorities first. So write a huge old list of this is what needs to get done for my business. And then ask yourself, if I only had 2 hours this week, this entire week, 2 hours to work my business, what would produce me the most results in the direction that I want to go in? Okay. So for example, you guys, if it's leg day and I'm working arms, I'm not going to be happy with the results of my legs. And that's a lot of times what small business owners do, is they're like, I want to grow my customer base, but then they focus on only selling to the people they already have. Well, if you want to grow your customer base, that means you need to be lead generating, or you need to have new customer establishment, or you need to have a referral program. So you have to make sure that you know exactly what your priorities are in your business and what activity specifically is going to get you there. And so I would write out a huge list, and then I would put it in highlighters. I love doing this because highlighters make me happy. So I put these are things that are of highest importance that only I can do. I can't delegate it. I can't have an assistant do it. I can't have anyone do it. I have to do these things. Those things move the needle. They require me and my gifts. Those things always come first. Until I do the things highlighted in pink, I'm not allowed to move on to the things highlighted in blue, or whatever your next priority category is. And then you need to have an area for delegation. So which things on your list can you delegate? If you can pay a high schooler to do it, you shouldn't be doing it. If you can pay a high schooler to do it, you should not be doing it. Okay. Okay. Hey, Debbie. Hey, Veronica. Okay. Any tips on how to stay still while doing live videos? I'm a hand talker and feel like when I'm on camera, I look like a jumping bean. That's hilarious. Okay, Ashley, I love this question. I love this question so much. And I actually will tell you that that energy is really good for video. So I don't know that you need to change it, as long as you're not holding your device. If you were holding the phone, if I was holding my computer and I was doing this, that would be terrible. But if you're seeing motion and video, all the research that I've done and the videos that I've watched, your body language and your energy needs to be 10 times when you're on video versus in person. And so especially on video, I think you need to own that and bring that. And if you feel kind of weird about it, you can say it. You can say, I'm just so excited to be with people that I'm jumping around. But honestly, most of the time, that's how people don't get bored and check out. So I don't think that's a bad thing. I personally don't. I don't do well with people that are when their hands are folded and they're like, today we will be going. It's be a human, be alive. So I don't think that is a bad thing at all. Alexis says happy birthday. No, I don't know why I just read happy birthday, you guys. She said, hello, happy new year. Oh, my word. Okay. Did you have a schedule in addition to your daily contacts and coaching, like Money Monday, banking transfers, team build Tuesday? Oh my gosh, I love this. Okay, so I did. I always had a schedule because I don't get anything done if I don't have a schedule. If it's not in my phone, it will not get done. And so, for example, if someone reaches out to me and I know someone passed away and I need to write them a card, I literally schedule that as an appointment in my phone. And it'll go off at 10 a.m. on Tuesday. Write this person a card. And I will sit down at my desk and I will write a card. If it's not in my phone as an appointment, it will not happen. So I stick everything in there. But yes, absolutely. The reason that I did have a schedule, no matter where I've been in my business, whether it was just starting out or where I am now, it doesn't matter where I've been. the days had an intention. And the reason I did that is because I wanted every area of my business to be touched at least once during the week. I didn't want 2 months to go by and I'm like, oh my gosh, whatever happened to that one girl? Or, oh my gosh, I was supposed to reschedule this appointment. Or, oh my gosh, I was supposed to wrap this up or whatever. And so I had a day for my self-growth, my training, for me to be full, because you guys, this is of most importance. You cannot give what you don't have. If you don't have faith, you can't give faith. If you don't have belief, you can't give belief. If you don't have love, you can't give love. If you don't have energy, you can't give energy. If you don't have confidence, you can't give confidence. So you need at least a couple hours a week where you are pouring into you. Like, what are you reading? What are you listening to? What makes you feel good? What recharges you? Because as a leader, you give what's left, right? Like you can't give from an empty cup. Your cup should be overflowing, and the overflow is what is going to people. That is what people get. And so I had that in my schedule every week. I had a rest day every week because I can become addicted because I love what I do. And so I had to have a day where I don't work because it recharges me to get excited about working the next day instead of resentful and tired. So I had all of that built in. Target market. I don't know that. I don't know that answer. I think target market is anyone that you would connect with and you would be able to lead well in different seasons. That changes for me. At this point, my target market is for people that want to be better, like people that want better. They want to be better. What I'm really tired of is people being offended and people not wanting to hear truth. And so I think my personal target market right now is for people that want truth even when it sucks. And I think some people don't. I really do. I believe some people just don't want that. And I'm not here for that. You know, I love the quote, you are where you are because of the choices that you've made or the choices you have allowed others to make for you. And if you can't handle things like that, you might not be like my personal target market right now. So, and, you know, I think finding good people, it's just a matter of a continuous stream. And so if you guys think about the mall as an example, like I hear all the time, I'm like, oh my gosh, this person didn't buy from me. And I'm like, who cares? Like, this person didn't buy from you. If you look at the mall, you know, a lot of people walk into one store just to get to another store. So they'll walk through all the aisles, all the salespeople, the perfume, the shoes, the whatever, just to make it to another store. Do you think that people are watching the security cameras and they're like, oh my gosh, they just walked in and they didn't buy anything? I wonder if I'm going to fail. I can't believe they came in and they didn't buy anything. No. You're just like, come on, people. Some of you will be good. Some of you will be bad. Some of you might steal something. That's just the reality of a business. That's just how it goes. And so I think not taking it so personally and also not catastrophizing. Like, I would just encourage you guys to get rid of that quality if you have it. And what catastrophizing is like one small thing happens and you're like, and you snowball it into something bigger, right? Like one appointment schedules or no one shows up one day or whatever. And you're like, this means this, and it means I'll never do it again. And it means no one wants this. And it means I suck and I fail. And God is telling me this isn't for me. Like, calm it down and start again. It cannot be so personal. If you're excited and if you're passionate, the people will come as long as you are continuing to promote and to market and to advertise. So, anyway, I think there's that. Okay. How do you stay consistent with kiddos' schedules changing? So, I think it's okay. And again, depending on what your life looks like, I think it's okay to have a daily schedule or a weekly schedule. For example, you can have for the day tasks, but you don't have them plugged in exactly what time they're going to happen, as long as they happen. Or you can do that for the week. So you're like, these are my most important things that have to get done this week, and you chip away at them. So if you have an hour, if the kids are sleeping or whatever kids do, they're eating M&Ms out of a bowl, you're like, oh, I have an hour. You go to that master list of what has to get done and you check the most important things off based on the priorities that you highlighted, right? And so you're like, oh, okay, I'm going to do the most important thing first. And so you do that. Okay, I just got distracted. How do you stay consistent with kiddo schedules changing? Okay, so you can do that where you don't have it in your phone for like 10 a.m. because what if baby wakes up from their nap earlier, right? Or whatever. And so it doesn't have to be that way as long as it still gets done. So you can do it for the day or you can do it for the whole week. My personal suggestion would be to do it for the day, because when you do it for the week, by nature, you're going to put it off, and then you're going to end up having to put in 12 hours on Friday, 12 hours on Saturday, 12 hours on Sunday, and you're going to hate yourself instead of doing 4 to 5 hours every single day or 2 to 3 hours every single day or whatever. And so if you don't have the luxury of saying at 10 a.m. I'm doing this, at 12 p.m. I'm doing this, then have a task list for the day ready to go. And you've got to have it the night before. You've got to have it the night before. You cannot wake up and make your to-do list. You're depleting that willpower tank. You cannot do that. You're setting yourself up to fail. Okay. It's kind of like when you're over hungry, if you've ever done this and you're over hungry, and then you literally end up being like, I'm going to go through the drive-through and order 5 meals. Or you're like, while you're cooking, you're eating chocolate chips out of the pantry. Maybe that's just me. Okay. But you make really bad decisions when you allow your willpower to get starved like that. And so make as few decisions as possible. So before bed, decide what you're going to do tomorrow. What is it going to look like? Or what your week is going to look like. Decide that ahead of time so there's no guesswork. Okay. How do you find ways to inspire your team to keep going despite many obstacles? You guys, motivation is like, it's such crap. It just is. Motivation is crap. I mean, I can motivate you and I can fluff you up, but it is like using a bike pump on a tire that has 5 holes in it. It's just leaking out of us everywhere we go. We are around negativity all the time. Our brains are wired for negativity. 90% of the thoughts that you think about every single day are negative. Whether you're conscious of it or not, they're negative. And so motivation is hard. And so if you are looking at, my job is to consistently fill these people, you're going to feel like you're losing every single time. I think the best way to inspire your team is to do it yourself. I think the best way to inspire your team is to teach them healthy habits and crack down on your own habits. If it's taking everything you have to pour into your team, that means your own habits are crap. And so that's what you really, really have to look at and focus on. And just knowing, you guys, that obstacles are going to happen. I was talking to one of my girls about 2020, and she was like, and she almost like was scared to say it, you guys, but she's like, I know all this stuff happened and I know, but she's like, I've had life happen in other years and the world keeps spinning and you just have to keep going. And, she's lost a lot of family members and went through cancer and went through all these things. And she's like, crap happens, like obstacles happen, you guys. And my bills are still due. I don't know about yours. My bills are still due. My kids still have to learn. I have to figure out how to homeschool and, do the business thing and all of it. And we just have to do it. And so I think coming to terms with the fact that failure and obstacles aren't like this one-time event that determine your destiny, it's going to happen. Obstacles are going to happen if you're trying anything, and failure is going to happen if you're trying anything. And if that stuff isn't happening, if you're not hitting walls, if you're not hitting obstacles, if you're not failing, I don't really know what you're doing, because typically the more you do, the more you fail and the more obstacles that you have. And so it's all about bouncing back. And for me, you guys, it's never been hard to bounce back. And I'm going to tell you why. It's never been hard to bounce back because I make tracking sheets. I know exactly what I have to do to get to where I want to be. If you have not done that, highly encourage you to do it. So what exactly has to get done for you to be where you want to be? So I know that, right? Like every month, I can look at my notebook and I can say, this is what I have to do to make my income goals happen. All my goals happen. Okay. This is what I have to do. Have I missed goals? Most of the time. Okay. Yes, I have missed so many goals, but I have never filled out my tracking sheet completely and missed my goal. And so every single time that I miss it, I'm like, oh, I know exactly why. I didn't do this. I didn't do this. I knew this had to get done and I didn't do it. And so it's never been personal for me. It's never made me feel defeated because I know this is what it took and I wasn't willing to do that work. And so for me, the next month, it was a conversation of, do I need to adjust my goal because I clearly wasn't willing to do the work? Or do I need to adjust my willingness because I can't have the same willingness and the same goal because the tracking sheet didn't get filled out? So which one do I need to adjust? And being okay with that. And sometimes it was having to decrease the goal. And I know some of you are going to be like, oh, but that's what I had to do. I had to decrease the goal because that's where my willingness was at. And once I hit that goal, then my confidence was higher, my willingness was a little higher, so the goal could get a little higher. And that's kind of how the step ladder works. Okay. Oh, I lost it again. Okay, hold on. Sorry, guys. Okay. Oh, here we go. Okay. I feel like if I don't answer my text, emails, messages right away, I will lose the sale. Do you have scheduled times when you respond? If so, do you find that to be successful? So there's a couple things that you can do. Number one is you can automate it. It's $10 a month through like something like Project Broadcast, where you can have a drip system where anytime someone texts you, you say something like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Can't wait to whatever, like something generic, but that they get a response. And it can even be like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I will get back to you within 6 hours or something like that. Just so you know your customers are getting a drip, like they're getting a response. For me, personally, as a consumer, that makes me feel better. Just knowing like, oh, I'll get a response within 6 hours. Okay, it's not that she's ignoring me or whatever. I do have scheduled times when I respond. As far as I have boundaries of the day when I do and do not do that. So like when I'm homeschooling my kids, I do not do that. When it's family day, I do not do that. When it's, I put my phone away at 8 p.m. every single night, I do not respond after that time. And so I do have things like that. But if I'm around and it's there, I personally will answer. Some people will tell you that's not good time management. But if you are really feeling guilty about that, I would have some sort of like automated thing that goes out. And the automated things, you guys can even have their name on it. So it'll be like, hey, Bernadine, oh my gosh, so great to hear from you. I'll get back to you in just a little bit. And it can literally say that, or something cute that you can come up with. Okay. How do you keep yourself from feeling discouraged? I think discouragement is a part of life, you guys. I really do. I guess to me, I just think like, what's my alternative? I would never rather be anywhere else. I don't want to work for anyone else. I don't want to do anything else. So I don't care if I have to keep slamming my head against a wall until I break through. I would rather go the painful way and do it the entrepreneurial way than go work for someone else. And so it is discouraging sometimes. I'm not going to lie to you. And you do want things faster, but I look at it as the same thing as anything, like, being in labor, and sometimes that's really discouraging and frustrating, but as to get done, what are you going to do? Say, never mind. Sometimes marriage is discouraging. Sometimes losing weight and eating healthy is discouraging. Like everything in life that's worth it and hard is hard and can be discouraging. And so I think normalizing that instead of panicking, and instead of saying, oh, I feel discouraged, like, don't find the deeper meaning in that. Don't be like, is God trying to tell me something? Or, does this mean this? Does this mean I'm not cut out for this? No, like stop lying to yourself, stop playing mental games with yourself, and just know that, what, that means maybe I'm on the right path. And if I don't want to do it and I'm resisting it, maybe this is what I've been missing. And once I do it, things are going to click. And so I think it's not always going to be rainbows and butterflies, and it's not always going to be beautiful and perfect. Like there's going to be days where you just have to embrace the suck and you just do it. And so how do you keep yourself from feeling discouraged? You keep doing it, and you realize that even when you're discouraged, when you do it, you feel good and it's worth it. It's like going to the gym. Like I've never heard someone say, I really regret going to the gym. I just really wish I didn't do that. Usually people are like, I really didn't want to go, but once I was there, it was amazing. Okay. And so that's what you do, is you just do. You just do. Can you grow a strong, thriving business while still working a part-time job? How would you balance both? Absolutely. I think balance is crap. Balance is just, it doesn't exist. I think you're going to have a wobbly wheel always. And a wobbly wheel meaning like, if you look at all the areas of your life, your marriage, your social life, your eating, your work, your side hustle, your whatever, all the stuff, how clean your house is, something's always going to be wobbly. You can't be a perfect 10 in all areas at all times. It's so unrealistic. And so I think, again, normalizing that and understanding that time given to one area is time taken away from another. Can you have a growth, like a strong, thriving business while still working a part-time job? Absolutely. I homeschool my kids. I feel like that's a part-time job, so I have a part-time job. if you cook your house, if you clean, if you have hobbies, if you go to the gym, or if you do something that takes several hours a week, I don't know, maybe you scrapbook or you do puzzles, I don't know. That's all time taken away from your business. And so why is it any different if it's vocational? It is what it is. We all have the same 24 hours. We all choose to spend them not in the best ways most of the time. So absolutely, can you do it? I think it's a matter of just realizing that your energy, a lot of your energy will be going into growing a new baby business, and a new baby business does take a lot of energy. And so you might be tired. You might have to skip your favorite TV show. You might have to wake up an hour earlier. You might have to, start eating better so that your energy is better. Like you might have to do those things. But can it be done? Absolutely. Why not? Why not? Absolutely. I love this. I scheduled Facebook Lives 3 days a week, and that was how I kept going with my schedule. It kept me on automatic. Absolutely. Schedule those in. The more that you can be on autopilot, the better. The more that you can put into your calendar, the better, because it's automated. You look at your day, you know exactly what to expect. And honestly, you guys, your energy shifts to fit that. Have you guys ever noticed that? Like, have you ever noticed that days when you're at home and you're kind of lazy and you barely get anything done, your energy is so low and you're like, oh, I barely got through the day. And then you have days where you have like 5 or 6 appointments and you're running from one place to another, to another, to another. And somehow you have the energy to do that. You have the energy to do more. So put it in your calendar, because if it's in your calendar, your body will adjust and you will make it happen. Okay, so the willpower thing, I will touch on that real quickly. And the willpower thing is so important, you guys. So the less willpower that you can use throughout your day, the more you will have left over for your business. And so think about what else in your life you can automate. And I know this sounds so dumb, you guys, but willpower is such a limited resource. It has to be like your precious little baby that you're like saving. And so, is it like your clothes? Do you stand in front of your closet picking clothes out for 30 minutes? Like, that's a problem. Pick them out the night before so they're there and they're ready. You don't have to think about it. Is it food prepping? Does that stress you out? Like today's day 5 for me, and I've planned out every single one of my meals the day before. So like tonight, I'll plan my meals for tomorrow. And it has been the most amazing blessing of my life. I will wake up and I'm like, I know what I'm eating. I know what I'm doing. And my energy has been crazy good. And so anyway, that's awesome. The other thing I wanted to say about the schedule, and I have this written down in my notes, is if I looked at your calendar right now, if I looked at your calendar and I looked at your habits and I looked at your actions, what would I say your goal is? And I want you to think about that, because so many of us, and I'm putting myself in this, have this goal. We have this goal. But if you were to actually say, well, looking at your calendar and your habits and your actions, it actually seems like you're going in this direction. So if I looked at your calendar today, your habits today, and your actions today, where will you be a year from now? Where will you be 5 years from now? So important to make sure that you not only have a goal, but your actions, your habits, and your activity and your calendar align with making sure that goal happens. Otherwise, you guys, that's where discouragement comes in, because you're not doing anything to make it happen. You know that on the subconscious level, but because you had it as a goal, your brain interprets it as you missed the goal, you missed the goal, you missed the goal, you missed the goal. Well, sister, you had no right hitting the goal because you didn't do anything to achieve it. That would be like if I said, I want to lose 10 pounds this month, and I didn't track anything. I didn't exercise. I ate cookie dough and doubled my portions. Like, I wouldn't hit my goal, but I would feel like a failure because my goal was 10 pounds. So you have to back the goal up. You have to break it down into those different categories. When you feel your mindset slipping, what actions do you take to reset and improve? So you have to be super in tune with your mindset, you guys. I notice mine slip, and mine is little things. Like I will, I have levels of mindset, and mine is usually in what I want to listen to in my downtime. So if I'm doing really good, I listen to podcasts and things that grow me. If I'm in the middle, I listen to music. And if I'm doing really bad, I'll watch like YouTube or turn on like a show or something. And so that's when I know. So you have to be so in tune with yourself that you can catch yourself and say, whoa, no, that's not my best. This is what my best looks like. That's not my best. And then you have to have tools in your tool belt to get yourself back there. And honestly, for me, you guys, sometimes even consciously recognizing, oh, I'm watching TV instead of like a podcast, it'll force me to be like, I don't want to listen to a podcast, but I'll turn one on and then I'll be like, oh, this is so interesting. Oh, okay. And so sometimes you have to just catch yourself and be like, oh, that's not what I do. No, I'm going to do this. And so mindset stuff is different for everyone. Sometimes it's an affirmation that they have recorded that they need to listen to, that when they listen to it, they're like, I'm a beast. Like, I'm ready to go. Sometimes it's having someone who's like their mentor, or someone close to them, like pour belief into them and just be like, I don't believe in myself today. Can you tell me why you think I'd be good at this? For some people, it's a workout. For some people, it's a certain food. Like you have to figure out what your thing is, but you have to know when you're not sharp. You have to figure out when it's slipping. Okay. Any tips on juggling your business, motherhood, spiritual life, and fitness, a weekly plan sheet, a calendar, a schedule? I know there's so many like freedom and flexibility people. Most entrepreneurs are freedom and flexibility people. They don't want to be told what to do. They want to own their time. If you make your weekly plan sheet, you still own your time, but there's so much freedom in structure. Like, I want you to write that down. There is freedom in structure. Also for your kids, here's what I will tell you. Psychologically, from a psychological standpoint, there's 9 minutes that are critical to spend with your children every day. 9 minutes. The 3 minutes first when they wake up, the 3 minutes after they come home from school, and the 3 minutes before bedtime. For a psychologically healthy relationship with your children, that is what they require of you. Stay-at-home moms right now statistically are higher than they've ever been, and kids feel more distant and removed and disconnected from their parents than ever before. That's not okay. And so check your motherhood and make sure that you're being present with your kids, because if you're being present in moments, you're not going to feel guilty about going into the office. But if you're out there with the kids and on your phone and on your laptop and cooking and folding a load of laundry, you're not going to have harmony in that area at all. And you are going to feel like crap. Same with spiritual life. Like, is it scheduled in? Is it in the morning? Is it in the evening? Is it while you're drinking your coffee? Is it every time you sit down to go to the bathroom or to go pee? When is it? But just scheduling it in. I will say that it's possible. It's possible to do it all well, but it is structured, and a lot of people don't like that answer. Okay, tax seminar. Okay. Think my business failed, thinking of doing it again. Any advice? I would just say, the only way that you fail is if you quit. And so it's a choice. It's your choice, And so I guess I would just say go in open-minded and go in knowing that you have some stuff to learn and that there's going to be times that are going to be hard, but making it through the hard is super worth it. What is the first thing that you do every single day for your business? So I was actually going to talk to you guys about a couple books that I recommend going into the year. So for the first 30 to 45 minutes of my day, I just do my devotional and my quiet time, and I have coffee. And then when I'm ready to do anything with my business, the first thing I do is I look at my schedule. So I look at my schedule and I see what my day looks like. I also have a note section in my phone that's just a to-do list. And so if anything pops up throughout the day that's not an emergency, but I know I need to plug it into my calendar, I put it on there. So if I need to write someone a card, I need to call someone back, I need to follow up with someone, I put it on my to-do list. So it's out of my brain and it's on a to-do list. And so then I'll look at my day, I'll see if I have any open slots in my day, and then I'll go to my to-do list and I'll plug stuff in from my to-do list into my calendar to kind of finalize that. And then I start my day. So that's what I do. But I wanted to talk to you guys about this planner. They don't pay me or anything, but it's the Full Focus Planner. And if you're kind of floundering and you're confused on your goals, I really would recommend at least buying this one time. It's a quarterly planner. So you buy one every 3 months. But you write your goal statement and your annual goals in it. And it's different goals like spiritual, parental, intellectual, social, emotional, vocational, physical, martial, financial, marital. Now, I was like, what are martial goals? Marital, it says. What I like about this is that it breaks it down for you annually, quarterly, monthly, weekly, and you check in with yourself consistently. So I'm not a good see it through person. I'm a really good starter. I'm not a good finisher. And so that really helps me see it through. Do you set your schedule in blocks, or do you schedule out every second? I have 4 kids, 1 newborn. I'm homeschooling. It seems impossible to get it all done. So in your case, I would absolutely do time blocks. And they could be, you guys, I think when people think of time blocks, they're like, I need 4 hours. No, if you have 4 kids and a newborn and you're homeschooling, it might be like, hey, you guys, have a snack and watch this YouTube video about minerals and rocks. And I'm going to go in my office for 15 minutes. And you guys, I would bribe my kids when they were smaller. And I would say, if you guys don't come and interrupt me for 15 minutes, then I will set a timer for 15 minutes and I will get down on the floor and play with you uninterrupted. I won't look at my phone. I won't do dishes. I won't cook. I won't do anything but play with you. So like they would let me spend time in my office, and that exact time I would give them in return of like face-to-face, whatever you want to do time. And that really helped me. And so like for you, Kim, my biggest suggestion would be to make sure that you know what that 15 minutes is going to be about. If you only have 15 minutes, what is it that's highest on your priority list that's going to get done? I have a problem with one thing. If it doesn't work out, like plan, the rest of my day falls apart. There's a quote, did you have a bad day, or did you have a bad 5 minutes that you milked all day? And you just have to be aware of that. You have to be aware of that. And you have to be like, Alexis, are you seriously still talking about getting a flat tire this morning? Like you have to have a check yourself moment and be like, get over it. Get over it. Why are you doing that? No, we're not going to do that. Nope. I'm moving on. I have stuff to do. Because that is how a bad second turns into a bad day, into a bad week, into a bad month, into a bad year. Next thing you know, things are very bad in your life. And so just don't even do it. If you're aware that you do it, snap yourself out of it. Like straight up, snap yourself out of it. Bernadine said, people who show their hands on video are known to be considered more trustworthy. See? Don't hide anything. Okay. Do you have a paper planner as well as your phone calendar? If yes, how do you keep them synced? Our daily life schedule is in our phone calendar, but I love seeing something for our kids to see. So typically I would have a weekly plan sheet, and then I have my phone. My phone would have more detailed things, but on my weekly plan sheet, I might just put like, this is my work time, and it would be highlighted in a certain color. But in my phone, it would say, call Anna, call Bernadine, coaching call with this person, coaching call with this person. And so does that make sense? My phone is more for me, all the details that I need to know. And the weekly plan sheet is so our family knows what life looks like for the week. I'm working on refining my daily work rhythm. Awesome. How do you build a successful customer base? One customer at a time. And by follow through and follow up and not letting them fall through the cracks and making sure that they are receiving love and attention from you consistently. And you do that, guess what? Through your schedule. I know, isn't it beautiful? Okay. How to keep potential people focused on the decision to start their business. So if you're trying to recruit and you want someone to be coming into your business, I would say building a personal relationship and making sure that you're layering them. An average person takes 4 to 6 layers. And so if you have presented the product to them and presented the opportunity to them, and then they like fall off, they need 2 to 4 more layers from you. And sometimes that's follow-up, you guys. Sometimes it's just befriending them, following them on social media, liking and commenting their stuff, just so they're like, oh yeah, that girl. Oh yeah, that girl, instead of like the new shiny thing that comes up. But the best way is just to constantly have people in your, so that you're not desperate, because nobody likes desperate. That doesn't look good on anyone. So just constantly have people in the hopper. The best, most effective way to promote and advertise your business, the way you live your life. I believe that any small business, it's people are going to be attracted to you more than your business. Like I want to buy from people that are like amazing and sweet and the way they live their life. And so live your life in a way that makes people attract to you like a magnet. Someone finally figured out how to open the chat. Congratulations and welcome, Wendy. I love it. Finally got my comments working. Perfect. Okay. I think I lost the comments again. Okay. I'm going to try to keep this at an hour. So I'm trying. Okay. Thank you. Perfect. Okay. I love that you guys are getting a lot out of this. That's awesome. I always set my 6 most important lists and everything I need to complete it every night. Yes. Do it the night before. Absolutely. Okay. I work full time. Do you think slow and steady or quick and controlled chaos? So Jamie, I think it just depends on your personality. For me, it was definitely quick chaos. It was chaotic and it was exhausting and it was a lot and it felt like 2 full-time jobs. But I don't know that I would have ever gotten there doing it the other way. So I think some people are a crock pot and some people are an Instapot, and you have to know which one you are and you have to honor that. And so I can't tell you. I think you have to know what kind of person you are. Okay, how many people actually book? Okay, so cold leads, people that you've never met before, 1 out of 8. Warm leads, 1 out of 5. There you go. Okay. And then remember, half will cancel or reschedule. Okay. Do you have a business number separate from your normal cell? I do have like a back office line. That's like my automated stuff that I use for a lot of that stuff. Yes. When you want to do something bigger than you've ever done before, how do you overcome that I've never come close to doing this? What makes me think I can do it now thought process? Oh my gosh, I love this question so much, you guys. And I just think it would be so sad if what we could accomplish, my dogs are barking, if what we could accomplish in life was based on what we've done in the past. And I think about overcomer stories, you guys, like a drug addict, like, someone who's been in rehab many times. Like, imagine if they said that. Imagine if they said, why would I try? And I'm sure many people do, like, why would I try again if I failed, 10 times before or whatever? And so I think you have to remember that where you're going has nothing to do with where you've been. So your scars determine where you've been, not who you are, and not what your future looks like. And I mean, it's like anything. It's like a relationship. Like, if you've been in a bad relationship, it doesn't mean that all relationships are going to be bad. It means that one was bad. If you had a long labor, it doesn't mean the next labor will be long. It just means that one labor was long. And so I think for me, that's playing God, plain and simple. And I don't mess with God in that way. And like, how do I know that? How do I know that that's not what God has for me? How do I know that I don't have the ability to do that? How do I know that that's not in my future? And how dare I question what that looks like based on what I've done before? Because things change and you can be a completely different person tomorrow. And so I guess for me, it's just a logical thing. So you can use the same link to share. Don't pass it around like too much. If someone and they're a business owner and you trust them, that's great. But I don't want it ending up on like, I don't know, somewhere crazy. 1 to 2 minutes of planning results in an extra 5 to 8 minutes of execution. See, you're reserving your willpower. I love that. Okay. Do you get up and do your makeup on every day? I feel like I can't talk to people if I don't have a face on, but I also don't wear a face every day. So I think this has been the biggest mistake of 2020 that a lot of us have made. I really do believe that, you guys. And you can say what you want. And if you don't wear makeup or you're like a total natural person, then do your hair, get dressed, but what kind of a business are you expecting to grow if you haven't showered in 4 days, you don't remember the last time you did your makeup, and you smell questionable? I don't care if you aren't seeing anyone or meeting anyone. If you are texting someone, they're going to sense it. Like, I know that sounds so weird, but your confidence changes your results, period. And so if you feel super confident in that state and super energetic and like you're bringing your A game, I personally have never met anyone like that, but maybe you're a unicorn and you go, girl. But get up, get dressed, get ready, and go do something. Like, enough. I know John Maxwell, he got up on stage after like a month and a half of Corona, and he said, I know this sucks. I know it's scary. I know we've never been here before, but it's enough. Enough. And so if you want 2021 to be bigger, and you want to do things you've never done before, and you want to stretch, and you want to be more financially stable, and you want all these things, go do it. Get up, get cute, and get it done. I don't know. That's just my thing. What if you're homeschooling, don't feel like connecting after school? I feel you. For homeschooling, you check all the psychological boxes. Okay, you checked them. You did your job. Way to go. You've gone and done it. I love it. Okay, you guys, I think we're getting to the end of our questions here. How do you turn off mentally? I think about my business 24/7. Yes, I know. But you know what? Constantly. I read Bernadine's Instapot and I said constantly instead of honestly. Honestly, how beautiful. It's a beautiful obsession. That's what Stacey James calls it, or a magnificent obsession. When you love something so much that you want to do it all the time, that's beautiful. And you don't want to necessarily let that go, but you also want there to be room for other things in your life because that's healthy. And so because of that, because you want there to be room for other things in your life, You let it go by, so the Full Focus Planner actually has something in it that's called, I don't know if I can find it right now, but it's basically like you write down things that you do when you open your day. So like, how do you start your day? This is how I like prep for my day. Here it is, workday shutdown and workday startup ritual. So workday startup. So what do I do that gets me in the mode? Is it a video, an affirmation? What is it that gets me like focused? For me, it's looking at my calendar and setting my intention for the day, right? And then workday shutdown. So what does it look like for you? What steps do you need to take so that you can go boom, boom, and done? It could be turning your phone off. It could be writing what your tomorrow is going to look like. It could be writing, this is everything I got done today, and this is why I feel good about saying goodbye to today, as far as my work goes. And so it's literally mentally you writing down what your evening, like what does the shutdown look like? Because we don't shut our brains down and expect them to be shut down. And so that is really, really, really important. You make your own confidence. Yes, I love that. I love that. Yes, she said, I've done my best makeup and hair. It's worth it. You are worth it. Yes, yes, yes. I love it. I love it. Okay. The name of the planner, Full Focus Planner. What are your priorities when reaching for a big goal? And what are the things that you cut out of your life during this time? I love this question so much. We're running out of time. I love this question so much. Okay, you guys. So I'm reading this book and it's all about food and I'm obsessed with it. So I really struggle with food. I have a very unhealthy relationship with food. And it's not my size or my body. It's like all up here and it's really unhealthy. And I started reading this book and it's called Bright Line Eating. And if you have issues with food, I seriously think you should watch it. But anyway, so I read this book and it talked about bright lines, and bright lines are things that you just do not cross. You don't cross them. It's a bright line. It's a hard no. It's a hard pass. And I was like, oh my gosh, we need these in business. We need bright lines that we just do not cross. Now, the difference is in food, they're typically the same for everyone. In business, they're different for everyone. And this is where you have to figure out what your bright lines are. For example, social media, right? I can hop on social media, hypothetically, and, post some content, comment on a few people's stuff, check in on whoever you need to check in on, okay, and log off and you're good. A lot of people cannot do that. A lot of people will log on and 2 hours later, they're down some rabbit hole, taking screenshots, sending them to their friends, reading Reddit, whatever. And so social media for you, if you're going for a big goal, might have to be a bright line. So like I have social media timers set on my phone. And so I am not allowed to use social media more than a certain amount of minutes every day, because I know that if I have a certain amount of minutes, I'm going to make sure those minutes are spent well. So you can actually do that. It's right in your settings under apps. It's not like a special app or anything. It's right in your iPhone settings and it will lock you out. And my husband has the password and it will lock me out of my social media, because I know that if I spent more amount of time than that, it wasn't time well spent. For some people, it might be TV. You might be able to watch a show before bed and you're good. Other people will end up binge watching 5 seasons in 2 days. That's not healthy. So that might have to be a bright line for you. And here's what I will tell you guys about bright lines is they suck. It does not feel good to say, no, I can't do that in moderation. But if you're susceptible to those things and to addiction to those things, plans of moderation will not work for you. So if you're addicted to TV, saying I'm only going to watch 30 minutes a day isn't going to work for you. Like, I'm sorry, but it's not. And I know it would make you feel good for me to allow you to work however, to watch 30 minutes a day, but it won't work for you. You will end up binge watching, staying up until 2 a.m, feeling like crap the next day. Your energy is low and the day goes to crap. That's what will happen. Plans of moderation do not work on people that are highly susceptible to addiction to certain things, period. And as soon as I realized that, my world flipped upside down, because it was no longer bargaining or comparing, like, why can she watch TV and I can't? Why can she eat this and I can't? It was straight up like, I can't do it. I can't handle it. And moderation won't work for me. And so coming to terms with your business and understanding what are the things that are standing in my way? What am I addicted to? Like, what's standing in my way that I need to cut out? And those things are going to be different for everyone. That's why I'm not going to say honestly, you guys, for some people, it's the gym. They're straight up addicted to the gym. Like they're so addicted and so reliant that it's unhealthy. And so I don't know what it is for you, but if you're not where you want to be, I guarantee you there's probably something. There's probably some bright line that really sucks to draw and you haven't been willing to draw it. So, so examples of like my 6 most important things list or my intention for the day. It just depends on my schedule, and my schedule is going to look very different than I think everyone on this call's schedule. But for example, if it's like my planning, self-growth, office mailing, tracking day, my 6 most important things list will have everything to do with that, plus any people that I have to, get back to or call back or respond to or whatever. My second one is for like the key leaders in my organization. And so those would be like, who do I need to check in with and all that stuff. And so it's just a matter of what my intention is for the day and making sure that my 6 most important things list backs that up. Okay, you guys, we only have 5 minutes. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to give you guys some closing takeaways. I hope this was helpful, you guys, and I'm more than happy to do these again. Thank you guys for keeping the conversation so alive, but I do want to respect our timeline of an hour. So I encourage you guys to figure out what your bright lines need to be. I encourage you guys to reflect on 2020. I know it's over. I know okay, but reflect on it. What went well? What didn't go well? If you guys haven't read the book, The One Thing, I would encourage you read the book, The One Thing. Like, what is one thing that you could change, that if you could tighten that habit, it would change everything for you? I also have some other books that I really want to share with you guys that I think as we open up a new year are just really good to read. If you are easily discouraged, take things personally, you stop and start, you tend to quit on yourself, this book is really great. It's called Grit. Okay, Grit. Angela Duckworth, Grit. I already told you guys about the planner. If you have trouble saying no, or if you have unhealthy boundaries or codependency, whether that's constantly answering text messages or not knowing how to say no when someone asks you to run an errand that you really don't want to run, or whatever, boundaries. This book changed my life. I have really healthy boundaries when it comes to my business. I did not have really healthy boundaries with a lot of relationships in my life. And so this book absolutely rocked my world, changed my life. Okay. And then the final one that I love, I love this book, you guys, High Performance Habits by Brendon Burchard. Super easy read. There's a quiz that you take and then you read about these high performers habits. It's phenomenal, phenomenal book. So those are just some books that I recommend. And so here's the deal, you guys. Here's what's not going to work. Taking things personal, not bouncing back, being in chaos, not having a routine, not having a schedule, waking up dazed. And the best way that I can summarize all of this is you can't hit the bullseye if you don't aim at it. You can't hit the bullseye if you don't aim at it. You can't, there's no statistical way to hit your goal if you are not intentionally aiming at it. Okay. And then success, you guys, automaticity. How much can you automate? How much in your life doesn't have to take willpower that you give willpower to, and your willpower tank is so depleted? A morning and evening routine. It works. It works. A morning and evening routine. Full focus planner. That's my personal edition. I think it works. Okay. And then gratitude. Gratitude changes your brain. It changes your brain. It changes your energy. Gratitude. Okay. So that is what works. So that's what I encourage you guys to focus on. Okay. Thank you guys so much for the feedback. I appreciate it. I also put where is it here? I don't know, my little handle here that says @LilyGautreaux. On Instagram, it's a new profile that I'm posting only business content. My other profile, I post a lot of like family stuff and food and fun, whatever. This is really just going to be strictly like business stuff, mindset stuff. So if you're interested in stuff like that, you want to see more of these, let me know and you can go follow me there. But thanks for joining me tonight, you guys. Have an awesome evening and let's have a killer 2021.